The best speakers in the world don't just speak, they build ecosystems because a speech changes the room, but an ecosystem changes lives and builds legacy. Now, if your speaking business ends when you walk off the stage, you're missing the entire point. Great speakers, they create business ecosystems, more than just that speech, a connected world of products, programs, and experiences that extend the transformation beyond just the one talk. In this video, I'm going to show you how to move from being a speaker who simply performs to a speaker that builds a movement, because that's the big goal, right? It's not just you saying, hey, I got this speech I give, but you saying, look, I have this thing that transforms lives. Now, when I first got started, I had some phenomenal mentors that broke things down for me. They go, look, you can go ahead and hop on a stage and you can make an impact in an hour, but you make changes to people's lives beyond that. Like that hour is just the opening of their heads and their hearts to embrace you and your concepts in to truly serve their lives. And if you're in a space in your mind where you want to take your message to serve people, the talk is just a piece of it. It's just the beginning, right? So as we go through this talk today, or this kind of conversation I'm going to have with you, I want you to start thinking beyond the stage. Now you might go, Anthony, I don't have anything beyond the stage. I don't know how to write a coaching program or a book or a consulting process or a workshop. I don't know. Or maybe you have some of these things, but you don't have them all put together properly. Just dial in today. It's going to help you out. Now, this first step of this is the idea that the talk is the entry point. Like point one, we'll call it. Your talk's the entry point, not the destination. The talk is not the main thing. Like I give talks all the time, but I'm talking about dark work. I talk about what it is and why it's important, but I don't tell them how to do it. Just the what and the why is incredibly valuable, though. It's usually breaking myths and getting new perspectives, opening people's minds to what's possible they had no idea was possible. And so now I've given them great value. It's been great entertainment. It's impactful. It's inspirational. They feel lighter. They feel confident to move forwards. But I haven't given them all the tools and all the keys to the castle, right? The idea is a keynote is simply a spark. It ignites awareness of your message and your concept. Your ecosystem, it catches that flame and it keeps it burning. Like somebody goes, hey, I love this thing you talked about on stage. Great. Here's where I can dive deeper into it. So I talk about on stage respecting the light. Now, part of that's respecting the light of what you want to step into, respecting those that are in that light, and respecting your light, like your work to do to step into the light. But that's something where we go deeper when I get outside the outside the speaking realm, right? I go into workshops, courses, consulting, and I go into communities to extend the impact by teaching them things. So if my first part of my talk happens to be respect the light, we can dive into in a consulting situation or a workshop situation or a coaching situation. Now I can go over what's called roots and fruits. The hard method, researching of identities. Well, what is that, Ant? Well, in our work of dark work, that's what we do. We can actually dig in and find out where people have hindrances that have connective tissue to important other areas of life that are not doing so well. They might go, well, why am I not having success in this area? It might not be what you think it is. It might be something deeper. It might be something completely foreign or parallel to it you had no idea existed. But what happens is I can now go in beyond the stage and talk to that. I can actually give you the opportunity to figure out where you should improve yourself. I couldn't do it from a stage. I can't be that intimate, that concise, that clear from a stage about your unique situation unless you're on stage with me, right? So the idea is when you're out there doing things, you are trying to create this entry point to get people into the ecosystem of what you do, to get them to go, man, I see this thing I didn't know existed. I really need some help with that. And now they move forwards. I have that one client, Frank Benedetto, who we worked together, and like he saw me on a stage and he reached out afterwards. We had a conversation and broke through some cool barriers and helped him put some things in place. And sure enough, within a year's time, I think 18 months, he had went from zero to $1,056,000 in income. He sent me a text message thanking me. Now, I'm not saying that this is something where like in a speaking, he's not a speaker at a full go. He speaks, but he's not like a main speaker. But this is on my dark work stuff. This is on the personal identity stuff. So when I talked about it on stage, he realized I need this. I got to do something like this. Beautiful. Let's do it. Then we do the work and it changes his life. If we don't do the work, he doesn't get the outcome he got in the same manner or the same speed. Maybe he never gets there. Maybe it takes longer to get there. But the area that he was able to lean into is because he saw me on stage. I had something that was more than just a speech, an ecosystem. I then worked with him, and sure enough, things took off, right? So his speech, it's kind of like a transaction. An ecosystem is a relationship. The speech is just me there talking. The ecosystem is what allows me to dive deeper in with the world of your life. Ecosystems, they create recurring impact, recurring revenue, and recurring visibility. That they turn momentum, they turn moments, we'll call it, into momentum. That singular moment of a stage becomes momentum, but they do turn momentum into maximization. That momentum you have with a great ecosystem, now it turns into maximizing impact, maximizing income. You get to learn areas that people need actual more help with and create different solutions. There's more that comes with it because you're putting people into a space. It's not just you talking at them, but you're communicating with them. You're serving them deeper. You're getting more intimate with their specific and precise needs. And that's where change takes place. Now, point number 3. Hey, I hope you're enjoying this video right now. Now, I want to let you know that I developed a speaker quiz that reveals what your speaker type is, the strength of your type, and more importantly, how to capitalize on that type to build an impactful and income-producing speaking business. To get this quiz and take it and get the information you need, simply hit the link you see below in the description, or you can wait till the end of the video to head over and check it out. All right, that's it. Let's get back to it. You build around a core framework. See, when I got into the world of doing this, I was like, I'm just going to come up with ideas and step by step and do it. Here's a cool acronym, right? And the acronyms, people love the acronyms. I don't know why. People absolutely love them. But the problem is they're not in process. And the process should have 3 specific consecutive stages. But if you're just throwing words in that have to do with an acronym, there's not value to that. It's you just giving some words and stuff to some weird statements you had. Soar, sky, slim, sneaky, whatever it may be, right? We have to have something that goes in process with that. Now, you could use those. They could fit, but they need to be in a process, an oriented structure of like, we do this step, then this step. Here's a logical reason why. So ecosystem, it starts with one anchor framework. For mine, for example, I have what's called a dark work experience. It's our coaching for a personal development side. We then have the Speak to Freedom formula. It's a process that we have speakers go through to get great at getting on stage. These frameworks, they become your filter for all products and services because consistency over time builds recognition and trust scales impact. If someone can't see your work beyond the stage or know you have anything, there's not going to be much reach. There's not going to be much more impact beyond what you've already done. So you really have to start focusing on where can I spend my time properly to create the outcome I want in someone's life beyond just talking to them from the stage. Brings us to point number 4. I'll call it the 3-part ecosystem model. Front end is essentially this we'll call it this, the front end's the first part of the 3 steps. Now, the front end portion is where you give free content, podcasts, and stages, right? The attraction portion. And this is what happens when you're on a stage speaking. You're out there giving content. For the audience, it's free. Podcasts are free usually. And stages, you might get paid and should be paid to be up there, right? So it's the attraction portion. People get to know you exist in that manner. This is why speaking is big, because other people who don't speak, they have to go find ways to build audiences, to borrow audiences, to buy an audience, because the only thing that they're doing is trying to find ways to stay at their house and get people to know they exist. Now, it can be done, right? Good content helps. It's hard to get built up. Great relationships of networking to get in front of other people's audiences helps. But then obviously people are skeptical. And then you obviously paying for ads or paying to be in situations for PR to get attraction. These things cost money. Whereas with speaking, you can get paid to get attraction. You can get up to a stage where you're getting paid money to go up and talk about what you do. And now you're attracting more eyes. The second part of this is going to be what's called the core. It's your keynote and your signature offer. Now, the keynote, if you get attraction in, one solution could be the keynote, right? It could also be a community. It could also be some kind of signature specific offer of what you give. But that's where you start converting people. You get them to pay you money to be on a stage or pay you money to do workshops or consulting. Who knows what it is? But this becomes the next level is you can actually go in and help and serve because you're on a stage doing your thing and people get a chance to fill you out. Third part of this is what's called back end. Now, back end, depending upon how they come in, can be multiple things. Let's just say for now, let's say the back end is consulting. It is courses, it is community. If your core portion is the keynote, right, the main thing you do is a keynote, the back end, the beyond the stage would be courses, community, consulting, all those things, the ascension portion to it. Yes, they came in, they saw what you did, they love what you did, but the next level is what's required. Another tier of things, right? And this is what happens when someone's had a chance to sit there and go, okay, great. I understand who you are, what you've done. I love your message. I want to do more work with you. What does that look like? Well, we have this course. There's a community here. Here's some consulting options, right? And each layer, it feeds to the next layer like a system, not a silo. It's all structured to work synergistically together. And number 5, we'll call it point 5, legacy through leverage. Right? When you leverage the things that you have, you build an actual legacy of impact. When you build an ecosystem, your message can outlive you. Like I can at some point in time step away from my dark work brand and have somebody else or some other team leverage my intellectual property to create impact long-term and still make revenue so it outlives me. You get to multiply your reach. You get to create employment for other people to enjoy their own lives, build scalable freedom for yourself. You stop chasing stages. You start owning your actual world. You are in control. You have freedom. You have things, but none of that comes unless you focus on these pieces I'm talking about. It's not accidental that some people have success, but the goal is to go, I am a speaker and more. I have an ecosystem you can enter into and experience these things with me. Now, what I do know to be true is the best speakers, they don't just deliver talks. They build ecosystems all the time that deliver transformation on the stage, but more so beyond the stage long term. And if you're ready to build your actual ecosystem of your business that can change lives and change your life, head to speaktofreedom.com. If you're not interested in that, doesn't tickle your fancy, no big deal. Simply stay tuned and watch the next video.